guys, this is Tami Duncan, this is Mr. Cookie, and I've got Mr. Pudgy down here, and we're going to get started, and there we go, excuse me, there you go. Okay, so we're going to get started and do my very first Periscope thing, and thank you for joining me, everybody. Like I said, I'm a total newbie and haven't done this before, so you'll have to excuse me as I have dogs walking around me and camera flipping around and all this kind of good stuff. So this is our new channel, Holistic Scopers. And so this is a group of people that holistic healers that have gotten together to do this channel and just share information about energy healing, meditation, high vibe living, vibrational healing, and all that good stuff. And I think I might be the first one to do a recording. I'm not sure, or it's not even a recording yet. It's a live broadcast. And so my name's Tami Duncan, and I'm from Epiphany Healing Arts. My website's epiphanyhealingarts.com, and I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Heather, for commenting, and thank you for all the love, and everybody for joining me, and love back to all of you. So anyways, you'll have to excuse me while I figure this whole thing out, but it's so cool. So what I want to talk to you about, and I want to give you a little bit of information. I'm not going to do my whole resume, blah, 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 because you can look it up on the website, but I have been doing energy healing with primarily families that have children diagnosed with autism for the last 5 to 6 years. And one of the gifts that's come through with that energy healing work is the gift of telepathy. And yes, it's totally out there, it's woo-woo and all that kind of stuff. I understand that, and I was shocked when it showed up too. But what it has meant, what I feel like is I have been able to be almost like a translator for the kids that maybe are nonverbal or are lacking the ability to speak verbally or the will or want to speak verbally. And for me to be able to be that in-between person that's been able to help parents to understand more of what their child is experiencing and with the world. And so it dawned on me a couple weeks ago, as I've moved my practice more into not individual sessions with clients, more into a mentoring role for parents and also for up-and-coming healers, and many other things like writing a book and doing classes and things like that and retreats. One thing is this word soul talk came to mind. And it's really when I'm communicating with the kids, yes, I'm also communicating at this telepathic level, but primarily it's at this soul-to-soul level. And at the soul-to-soul level is where the magic happens. That's where we can get this sort of big picture divine perspective of the why. Why are things happening a certain way? Why are we brought into each other's lives? Welcome, Thetonius, coming and joining us in today. What contracts do we have with each other? What is it that the purposes that we are holding with each other in this world? And what are we supposed to be accomplishing together? And why some of these experiences, why the experience of autism, why the experience of chronic illness. And when you're able to communicate with the soul of the child or the soul of anybody, you can get these amazing insights into the why. And sometimes it can make the journey much, much sweeter when we understand some of these things, when we can zoom out into the big picture and the divine perspective. So soul communication is about the divine communication, not what's happening in your everyday life. So I decided to open up, and this is a very recent decision, and you can look on my website under healing appointments. I don't do individual healing work anymore, appointments that is, like I said, but I'm doing this soul talk work that I'm bringing out. And I decided that everything I do needs to be fully aligned with my soul purpose and spark joy. And that's a new thing. A lot of us are doing, rearranging our closets and things like that, because of this book that came out about decluttering. And so So it's the same thing with my life, decluttering my life and only doing things for the most part that are sparking joy in me. And soul talk is one of them. So soul talk is the communication from my soul to another soul to learn something from those beautiful beings. So there's 3 categories of souls that I love to communicate with. One is what I call the awesome kids, and that's children with, there's no great labels here, so I have no way to really say it. Children with special needs-ish, whatever you want to say, but those that maybe are not communicating in a way where that you're understanding exactly what they want in their life or what they're trying to do and what they want to say. So those would be like children diagnosed with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, all that kind of stuff. Another group of souls that I love to communicate with are the animals. The dogs, the cats, the horses, any animal or being that you have a relationship with, you can talk to, that you can communicate with their soul. And then the third group is our bambinos, our unborn babies with our pregnant mommies. That's one thing is I love to do, is to communicate with the soul of the baby that's about to be born and ask, what name do you want to be named? Why are you coming into this family's life? What purpose do you hold? What relationships do you hold with the souls of your mom and dad? What things are you going to be wanting to accomplish? What is your soul purpose? Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And so this is what Soul Talk for me is all about. It's something I do all the time. But what I want to do for you today is not talk about what I do, but to talk about how you can talk to the soul of people too. So one thing that I have done, and we all run into these issues in our relationships where it's like, if I could just say the thing to my husband that's really hard to say, or if I could just say the thing to my child that's really hard to say, how could I do that? Well, you could talk to their soul, and then it's going to trickle down into their 3-dimensional being. So a lot of times what I'll do is, my husband typically falls asleep before I do at night, and he's snoring next to me. Now I have kind of an issue with him. I may just go into this soul talk and go soul to soul and talk to his soul and tell him what I'm feeling, and then allow the information to come back to me so that I can have a deeper understanding of the issue. Pudgy's saying hi over there in the hallway. That's my pug dog. So step 1, if you want to speak to the soul of somebody that you love, is all on you is the first step. This first step is to raise your vibration, because you can't be in a state of anger, resentment, sadness, anything like that, or stuckness, and communicate with the soul of somebody. It won't be accurate. It would be more of your own projection and your thoughts of what you think the person may be saying to you. Sorry about the camera work here. My little tripod's going crooked. And so you want to raise your vibration. So you want to do things to center yourself. You can go into meditation, you can do deep breathing, you can do a yoga class. There's many things that you can do to raise your vibration. Drink a nice cup of chamomile tea, herbal tea, nothing to stimulate, nothing like caffeine or anything like that will stimulate you, because a lot of times then you'll go into your mental mind. You want to be in your heart space, and that's the key. And so there's definitely tips and techniques that you can use, and I've got some meditations you can get from the website. If you look at Soul Calling, there's a little link on there for different meditations that I've recorded just for the purpose of raising your vibration. But there's many things that you can do, like I said. Really, it is, yes, connecting with the vibration of the other person. So somebody's asking, is soul talk like communicating with the vibration? So you're raising your vibration to more of a state of unconditional love, because when you're in a state of unconditional love, you can accept any information beautifully. If you pick up on something from somebody's soul that might be hard for you, maybe it's a behavior that you're doing that's hurtful, and you pick up on that from them. If you're in a lower vibrational state, then that might be hard for you to take. But if you're in a higher vibrational state, a state of love, a state of unconditional love, then you'll be able to take that with a compassion and understanding heart and be able to take that to heart and roll with it. So you want to, number one, raise your vibration, and you'll know that you're there when you're in this sort of state of neutrality, the state where nothing really matters. Like you could find out whatever, and it could be really bad, and you would be able to understand it. So you wouldn't have what I call an emotional charge. Okay. The second step to talking to somebody's soul would be to connect. Now, I use a technique I call the yellow brick road. And the yellow brick road is like a metaphor for this golden energy, this golden ray of Christ consciousness that I call it. And I talk about on the website on my website too, somewhere I think on the Soul Calling page, about the golden ray of Christ consciousness. But for me, if you're just in a state of visualization, you're going to activate and access that energy to be able to connect. So it's really about a line of connection from heart to heart. But this golden ray is unconditional love. So it's almost like if you can imagine yourself walking on a yellow brick road, just like in The Wizard of Oz, but that yellow brick road represents pure unconditional love. So every step you take on that road, unconditional love is infused within you. And then it's almost like you send out a call to that soul. Meet me on the yellow brick road. And you visualize them there. You can even pretend that you are talking to that soul. Imagine if you could meet that soul on the yellow brick road, and you're both in this state of purity, and you're both in your soul essence. You're in your soul essence, and the other person or being, like a dog or baby or whatever, is in their soul's essence, and you're meeting right there. Now the third step is to allow. Allow whatever information comes to you to be true. Allow it to just come to you, in that you don't need to figure it out. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have all of the answers, but you allow the information to flow to you, and you just take note of it. Okay? You note that, wow, I picked up on this vision. I had this thought in my mind when I connected with the soul. I had this vision. I had this feeling in my body. Take notice in your body how you feel. So if you're connecting with the soul of somebody, how does your body feel? Do you feel calm and peaceful? Do you feel loving? Do you feel tense and afraid? If you feel tense and afraid, then that would mean that your vibration was not where it needed to be before you went to connect. So you want to come back out of that and then go back and begin like your breathing and different techniques that we talked about for raising your vibration. So it's not something that you want to just go for and do unless you've been, really working on your own self and your own journey towards being, a peaceful, loving, compassionate person. And so when you're in that state of allowance, you're not controlling any kind of conversation. You can put a question out there, like, maybe let's say you want to speak to the whole of the soul of your husband. Maybe you want to ask his soul, why is this pattern there? Why do I feel sometimes like I can't reach you? And in that, you just allow the answer to show up and allow the knowing to come to you. It can come in a knowing, it can come in a vision, it can come in a feeling, and you may even get it to come in like a verbal conversation. I typically get a mix and match of all of that, and then when I'm done, just kind of allow that to sort of integrate, allow the information to come so that I know, can get a sense of the message. So you want to have a few things that you want to ask, but you also want to be able to be in a state of communication. So it's almost like imagining that you the thought in your mind, like you imagine that you're asking the soul of the person a question, and then be silent to allow the answer to show up. You know, they always say that when we pray, God always answers us. It's just, are we hearing it, or do we like the answer? And a lot of times we ignore what the answer is because it's not what we're wanting to hear. That's when we're coming in from a state of, you know, a lower three-dimensional vibration. But what we're doing here is coming in from a state of a higher vibration. And in that state of higher vibration, all knowledge exists. All knowledge is available to us, and we can access it when we meet the vibration of that answer. So if you really need answers from whoever it is, now you may not be able to communicate and connect with everybody. And that may be because you're blocked on your own end because it's scary. And yeah, it is hard to talk to people sometimes in the physical about certain situations, but being able to, you know that it's going to get there. Like I said, when you connect at the soul level, then it's grander and bigger, but that's connected to their whole physical being. And so you may notice shifts in the person that you're communicating with because you've come to them in that space of unconditional love. And in your daily life, you may not be coming at them with unconditional love because honestly, that's not an easy space to hold all the time when you're in your daily grind of life. Another way that I recommend you do this is that if you do have a child, that any child actually, sometimes it's also hard to connect with them because yes, you're connecting in this mommy snuggly, you know, hugging level, but sometimes there's things that you want to talk to the soul of your child about that you might not be able to say, especially like a teenager. You might not be able to say to them with your words because maybe they won't accept it, maybe they'll get defensive, maybe you're worried it may not come out right. So what I also recommend too is at night when you're going to bed to not only communicate with the soul, but to imagine that from your heart chakra that you can send this beam of unconditional love from your heart and it goes straight to their heart. And whatever else is going on in the world, in your relationship, it doesn't matter because that love is there and that love is being emphasized and connected. And the words then can be healed that happened in a 3D. So again, your 3 steps. Number 1, raise your vibration to a state of unconditional love. Number 2, connect to the soul of the person, whether you invite them, whether you do the yellow brick road suggestion or you connect at that heart level. And number 3 then is to be in a state of allowance, to allow whatever information flows to you. Be active in your senses. Feel in your hands, feel in your heart, feel in your body. Be in your knowing and allowing any visions to come up, even if they don't make sense right now. They may make sense later. I've had clients that said, you know, when I had a session with you a year ago, you said something, and I thought, no, this girl's way off. It makes no sense whatsoever. But then, what you said, actually a year later, something happened, and then it was like, aha, that made sense. Well, it's the same thing when we're talking to the soul of somebody and we're getting this information. It doesn't always come in that like, oh, I'm on the telephone and I'm getting the information through this sort of auditory way. Although sometimes it can feel like that too. Some of the children diagnosed with autism that are very in tune with their telepathic skills are like that. It's almost like you can hear them like you're talking on the telephone. But mostly it's this mishmash of different ways. So if you want, I have a YouTube channel, Epiphany Healing Arts. My website is epiphanyhealingarts.com. You can check out all the different multiple projects, including what's up with the map behind my head and all the different little things I've got written on there. That's different energy and action manifestation work that I'm doing. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Barb. Hi, everybody. And And then I think what I'm going to do is then take this recording, put it on my YouTube channel too, so that we can have it. And you can also comment, share with your friends. I don't know how all this stuff works, all this technology. So whatever you guys do on Periscope, do that. I think you can watch the recording for another 24 hours or whatever. So bring your friends over, and just want to say love to you guys and blessing. And I hope you'll give it a try. I hope you'll give Soul Talk a try from your heart to the heart of one of your loved ones. And then if you want me to talk to one of your little babies in utero, or one of your puppies or kitties, or one of the kids, you know, let me know too. You can do that from the website too. So again, keep following us on Holistic Scopers. My Twitter also is Tami Duncan, T-A-M-I Duncan. And again, love you, love you, love you. Blessings to all. Mwah! Have a great day. And I have to figure out how to stop this things. All right, see you later. Bye. How do I stop it? Oh, there we go.